Shalom Yasharala, HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and taught us this truth of the Spirit. Shalom to the Akim out here laboring, making their bodies a living sacrifice, pushing the word on truth and sincerity. To the Akim Guatim listening and learning, being doers of the word and abiding in the faith. And to the speckled birds scattered abroad that look like the other nations but are truly Yasharala. Shalom. Now, let me read Matthew 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. So I want to go into a quick lesson stemming from something that I just saw on Twitter, man. Right here. This tweet. This dude said, or this person said, look at the gas prices. Look at the cost of purchasing a home. Now look at wages. The government is encouraging stealing at this point. I can't lie. Or I can't, whatever the hell that stands for. And immediately I was like, hey, people are going to be robbing. It just goes into 2 Ezra 15, That goes into, that reminded me of you might have seen me scroll past it, but a video I saw from the brother Abal Gabar, and he was going into that, and I'll bring that out as well. But pretty much, hey, these people are seeing this stuff, man. We're seeing these people realize that shit's getting bad out here, man. It's getting real bad. People are gonna want to start, stealing from these places, doing all types of reckless things like that. And, it's just crazy. Like, we're actually seeing this come to pass right before our eyes. Salaki, if you might hear some background noise, might need to pause it at some point. But yeah, they're like, hey, it seems like the government is encouraging us to start robbing each other. And hey, they are, really, when you think about it. But at the end of the day, it's biblical prophecy. Okay? Because Esau wants to implement his new world order, order out of chaos. That's how he does his thing. He works with gradualism to eventually make his plans come into fruition, but we know he won't be able to. But just to focus on this real quick, people are just not going to care. They're going to just start going into this, crazy shit. This woman said that would explain why we would have to report if we stole to the IRS now. I didn't believe it, but it's actually a thing. IRS 2021 Federal Income Tax Guide clearly states you must report anything you steal unless you return it to its rightful owner in the same year. Also, income from illegal activities, such as money from dealing illegal drugs, must be included in your income on Schedule 1. Like, what? So they're just telling you to report that shit on your taxes. That shit is crazy, man. Like, yeah, it's crazy. They said they're trying to set people up with the promise of money, and then boom, the popo knocking down your door or whatever, for whatever they want to put on you. Dispensaries use that part for when filing taxes, because weed is still federally illegal, but you gotta file taxes or you get hit with wild charges. This isn't a trap. The IRS doesn't care. All they care about is getting as much money from you as possible. Your crime-related money is safe to be reported to the IRS, at least. This shit is just weird, man. Esau is just weird. And she's like, they talking about stimulus packages, and the IRS in the replies, girl, I don't know nothing about that. I'm Canadian. So even up in Canada, it's the same thing. Canada is just an extension of America. This is still Babylon. So it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. Let me get into 2 Ezra 6. I highlighted it. 22. 2nd Ezra 6 and 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. Okay? So it's been prophesied from the beginning. The Lord has told us that, hey, these things are about to happen, you know? And it's crazy. It's just amazing that we're seeing that, you know, people are really like playing right into it. Like everything that the Lord said would happen is happening. The prophecies are playing out before our very eyes, you know? The YAHAWAH that He's given us the eyesight, the eyes to see these things. You know, He's blessed us with this truth and understanding to be aware and be watchmen of Yasharallah, to see that, hey, you know, people are going to start going crazy, man. People are going to start losing it. Or like they say in the world, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. You know? It's going to go crazy. We see them damn, you know, the inflation, hyperinflation, you know, all this food prices skyrocketing, you know, and things like that. I'm going to read 2nd Ezra 15. Okay. Verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail and with the fearful constellation. Okay? Like how we were seeing these farmers get told by the government to kill their crops, to stop, you know, gathering whatever they're doing, you know? And then also because of pestilence and the plagues that are coming upon Babylon, they won't be able to even, you know, make use of the land. You know, their seeds shall fail, like just like that, because of the plagues as well, not just because of whatever Esau is orchestrating. Okay. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, which the gun is the modern day sword. For there shall be sedition meaning civil unrest, uprisings among men, and invading one another. Invading, not just Babylon is getting invaded, and it's going to be invaded on a major level as well. I remember a brother brought out that verse about the Salaki. I can't remember the word that was used, but there's a word going into how it's like phantoms or something. Phantoms invading Babylon. If I can remember the verse, I'll just put it in the comments. But something along the lines of phantoms, which are like foreign enemies, foreign invaders. You know, they're gonna invade Babylon, and not only that, hey, someone break into your house, they're an invader. You know, so people are gonna be seeing that on a domestic level, you could say. You know, invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. They don't care if you're a celebrity or you're a politician, whoever you might be. You might feel like you have some kind of power. That doesn't matter. If anything, that makes you more of a target. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning, yeah, no matter who you are, they're going to be able to break through your security systems. They're going to be able to do what they want to do. You know? All that wickedness is going to come upon you people. Okay, you're all going to be killing each other out here. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You know, all these checkpoints and things like that, lockdowns. Verse 18, for because of the pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Spoil meaning steal. They're going to steal from them. They're going to eat up their food. They're going to take all their freaking clothes, steal the warmth, probably chill in your crib, whatever, Hey, women are going to be for spoils in that day too. Booty, literally and figuratively. Spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, lack of food, famine out here, man. Inflation. They won't be able to buy food. A lack of sustenance. So they're gonna go get it how they say, get it how I live, get it out the mud. Get it however they can. Even if it means taking niggas' lives. That shit is crazy, bro. What do you think is gonna... Look at these niggas on Black Friday, man. Now imagine when you take people's food away for 42 hours. How people go crazy. Go into any mall, go to the food court, and see how many people are there all the time, every day. These people go crazy for food, man. And for great tribulation. Now I want to get Revelation. Let's get Revelation chapter 6, verse 6. Okay. Or verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Balances like scales. Okay. And we see Esau even depict that imagery with the woman in the robe, the long robe, with the sword and the scales, tipped scales. How they have in the judicial system or whatever, balances in their hand. Okay. And it had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, so here it's talking about inflation, man. When it talks about a measure, that's referring to let's get that in the blue letter. Basically, a measure is a certain amount, obviously, right? Just going off the definition. But it may not necessarily be the amount that you want. Because right now, you can go to the store, fill up your cart with whatever you need, and you have the money for it. Well, that's slowly being taken. That amenity, that comfort is slowly being taken away. Well, rapidly, because these prices are skyrocketing right before our eyes, like really quickly. The shit went high. The freaking chicken breasts and beef went from like $7 a pack to freaking 15, 20 plus overnight. So let's see, measure. A dry measure, less than our quart, 1 liter, or as much as would support a man of moderate appetite for a day. Again, these niggas go crazy over food, man. These bitches in their mukbangs, trying to get free meals. These dudes, America being so obese as well. That shit, look at how much is playing into the downfall and destruction of Babylon, man. Childhood obesity. Like I said, the food courts and malls. People love restaurants, the food industry, food service industry. That's all playing into Babylon's destruction. Okay, and these niggas don't have moderate appetites, man. So they're not gonna be fed for a day. They're gonna want to eat, 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 eat. See, this Babylon promotes just indulgence, pleasure, ecstasy, doing what you want to do, YOLO, because you might not live tomorrow. So enjoy yourself now. Be as wicked as you possibly can now. You know, cannot be satisfied, following the ways of Esau. As the ruler is, so is his people. So of course they're gonna follow the ways of Esau, and they're gonna be just as wicked, just as insatiable, and their souls are not gonna be upright within them, just like it is with Esau. As crooked as he is, they're gonna be the same. They're gonna follow suit. It doesn't help that our people follow the ways of the heathen and forsake YAHAWASHI, our power. So how do you think that's going to translate when shit hits the fan? When they're not able to do what they want to do? When they're not going to be able to feed themselves how they usually do? It's going to be real bad out here. Okay? Now going into the what a penny is. A penny, when you read down here at the bottom, it says the word is denarius, and it says that it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. So like the brother was bringing out in this video, he said a day's wages would be like maybe 100 to 150 a day. You know, you go to a job, you make like really a good job is like $15 an hour, $11 to $15 an hour, maybe more, and you'll get like maybe 100, 150 a day. You know, some people make 400 every 2 weeks, so on and so forth. But because of the wages of these jobs now, even if they go up, because of inflation, you're not going to be able to buy as much as you used to. Okay, inflation brings the prices of food skyrocketing. You know, they're not going to be able to buy as much as they used to. You know, so when it says a measure, of wheat, Salakia, when it says a measure of wheat for a penny, that means that a day's wage is only going to get you a certain amount of like a loaf of bread. Right now, you can go to the store and get bread for like $1, $2, maybe $3, like $3 or less. But now that 150 that you make in like one day, making 15 an hour, 11 to 15, whatever, in an hour, and you get a 150 a day, then you're gonna have to spend all that money on just that loaf of bread, because hyperinflation is gonna follow suit after the inflation. And take that and translate it over to all the amenities, all the food and seeds and things like that people go after today. You know, because of hyperinflation, because it's going to be worth so much and there's not going to be enough to go around, you know, so they're going to be struggling. Okay. Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when he had opened, Salakia, and when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, famine again, right? And with death, and with the beasts of the earth. So I'm going to go ahead and close it out right there. I'll leave the link to this tweet in the description. Okay. So, hey, that made me go into that. It made me think upon that and meditate upon how, you know, this famine is going to really take over. The Lord is going to bring harsh judgment upon this place. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I'm going to close it out. I'll leave the brother's video in the description as well. And I pray that the lesson was edifying. So with that, I want to say shalom to the whole full elect.